this meeting of the Transportation Mobility Committee to order. Could you please call the roll? Present. Present. All right, thank you. We have 4 pieces of legislation today. If Port Control wants to come on up, we'll cycle through 3 of them probably pretty quickly. Ordinance 366, 2026 by Councilmember Slife and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Port Control to exercise the first option to renew contract number PIRC 2024-04 with Bauman Enterprises, Inc. for the demolition of various buildings and structures, disposal of related debris and materials, restoration of sites, relocation of employees, tenants, and affected facilities, and construction of temporary relocation facilities for the Department of Port Control. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. This first piece is Bauman Enterprise. It's simply exercising an option to renew their contract. This is a contract that we have with them for demolition of various structures at the airport. We did utilize this particular contract for demolition of the Sheraton Hotel a few years ago, and then they have also demolished a few other buildings around the airport that are no longer needed, and we would like to, there are a few more buildings that we'd like to continue to utilize their services for, and so would recommend that we exercise the option to renew their contract. Thank you.
Okay. Could you clarify the funding source? I believe there's been about $4 million paid out in this contract so far.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, this is Terminal Modernization Development Program funds approved by the airlines for this particular contract.
Okay, just out of curiosity, what demolitions are we looking at?
The next one on the horizon is Building 217, which is on Cargo Road. You can kind of see it from 237 when you're going.
Those like those old United,
the old
junky-looking ones?
Junky-looking cargo buildings down there. And then after that, we're looking at doing a building called we call it 5 Points Garage. Also a building beyond its useful life that we have better uses for the land and redevelopment down in that area.
Gotcha. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, we'll move it on to finance. Go ahead and sign it up. 366, 2026. Thank you. Moving on to I'm sorry? Yes, is approved. Yes. 366, 2026 is approved. Thank you for keeping me on track. All right, moving on. Ordinance 597, 2026 by Councilmember Slife and Griffin by departmental request, an emergency ordinance authorizing the Director of Port Control to exercise the first option to renew contract number PS 2020-030 with SP Plus Corporation, a Delaware corporation, to provide maintenance, commercial operation, and management services for parking facilities at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport and Burke Lakefront Airport.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, thank you. Again, this is another option renewal of a contract. This is for all of the parking operations at Cleveland Hopkins and Burke Lakefront Airport. We've been under contract with SP Plus for quite some time. We're looking to exercise the 5-year option on their contract to continue to maintain our relationship with them. They have been a good provider. They manage, operate, and maintain all of the different parking options that we have. And again, simply looking to renew their contract, pick up the option. Thank you.
Okay, and there's not an estimated cost for this one, but I believe staff determined that the contract so far, it's been about $64 million. Does that sound right? Is there an anticipated cost for the renewal period?
I would imagine, I can speak that it'll likely be similar to what you have. I can't confirm the $64 million. I'd have to get back to you on the cost to date, but I can say that the likely cost moving forward will be similar to what they've been the last few years. We don't anticipate any significant changes to the operation.
Okay. Are there any questions from the committee on Ordinance 597, 2026? Hearing none, 597, 2026 stands approved. Please sign on. Going a little out of numerical order, I apologize for that. Ordinance number 589, 2026 by Councilmember Slife and Griffin by departmental request to amend Section 3 of Ordinance number 884-2023 passed September 25th, 2023, relating to professional consultants to provide on-call planning services.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, this one is adding a funding source to two existing contracts we have today. We have two contracts in place for on-call planning services that we utilize at the airport. We're looking to utilize these contracts in other ways to support the Terminal Modernization Development Program. There's been a few needs that have risen kind of ad hoc that we figured would be good to utilize these contracts for to support the terminal program and just kind of one-off little studies that have popped up that we see a need. And so we'd like to add the funding source of the terminal program to these contracts. They were put in place, before we really got any kind of terminal program funding moving. And so now we have them. We'd like to add this funding source to them to be able to utilize them more and support the terminal program. So recommend approval.
Okay. Are there any questions from the committee on ordinance 589, 2026, on-call planning services related to the terminal improvement project? Hearing none, 589, 2026 stands approved. Please sign on. And then our final one, if sustainability and utilities would like to come forward. It's ordinance 620, 2026 by council members Harsh, Santana, Casey, Slife, and Griffin by departmental request. An emergency ordinance determining the method of making the public improvement of constructing solar power generation facilities, authorizing the directors of finance, public utilities, and/or port control as appropriate to enter into one or more contracts for the making of the improvement, authorizing other contracts for the purchase of items or other services not covered under a public improvement, and to accept gifts, grants, and other funding for the improvement. Just as a little bit of background, long before I was on council, back when I was working in the previous mayoral administration, there had been talks about using this site for a solar array. So there's been a number of starts and stops on this. So I'm happy to see that we're hopefully moving forward. But I will turn it all over to you for information on the project and the legislation. I know that this has already gone through utilities and DPS, so this might be a bit redundant for members of the committee, but thank you for being here.
Sure. Good morning, Chairman and committee members. Thanks for hearing this legislation today. Under the U.S. EPA's Climate Pollution Reduction Grant Implementation Program, the City of Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, and the City of Paynesville earned grant funding in 2024 as a coalition of governments seeking to implement solar projects in former brownfields, such as landfills. And for Cleveland, we will be putting together to use city-owned assets. The sites are on your tablets there, one at Coltoff Road Landfill, just south of the airport that you're familiar with, Chairman, for the benefit of offsetting operational power costs for the Cleveland Hopkins International Airport, and a second site at West 11th and Spring Road Landfill, which would be for CPP customers. And the city administration has finalized a grant subaward with Cuyahoga County, and we're seeking authority from council to complete the solar projects on those landfills through design, build, and other applicable contract agreements, as well as there will be some on-site native pollinator plantings at both sites, and the West 11th site would have a naturalized park area that would be implemented after the solar projects are complete. The cost of the contracts would be recovered from about $15 million in grant funds, and then approximately $9 million in tax credits.
Okay. Anything to add?
No, Chairman.
All right. And just for context for the listening audience, there's two sites being proposed for solar installations. The one that is most pertinent to this committee is directly south across the road from the IX Center. It's a former landfill site. It's up against a creek right on the southern edge of the city's boundary line, and there's really not much that can be done with this site because of its status as a landfill and the adjacency to the waterway. So this is, I think, a productive use of land that it would otherwise be fallow. I think one of the questions that when we discussed also specific to this site, this is a behind-the-meter installation, which essentially means that everything that's being generated is going to benefit the airport and reduce what we're having to pay to First Energy. And I think just about everybody on this body, if not all of us, are happy to give less of our money to First Energy. I don't have any further questions on it. Are there questions from the committee? Councilman Casey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, to the director, just to reiterate, and I know we talked about this in utilities, can you go over again the finances of this? I know that there's the $8 million ask, and then there's the $14 million. Can you, again, go through the process of, do we have to upfront money? How long will we have to wait to be reimbursed if we do? And when we expect the grant to transfer?
Sure, and I'll ask for my colleagues to chime in also. So high level, there are $14.8 million in grant funding. That funding will be spent first on the projects. There's some budget for personnel. And then once we get through that part of the funding, there will be the part of the projects that are eligible for the tax credits. And in those, we would have an account, we would pay for the project costs and then get refund check for the balance of those, that cost, about $8.9 million.
Okay, so the $14.8 million, do we have to front that money?
We do not front it, so that, through the chairman, it is a typical grant arrangement with central finance, the way that we always do a reimbursement account.
Okay, so reimbursement, which means we have to provide dollars up front.
Through the chairman, we pay on a monthly basis, and then we get a drawdown from the Cuyahoga County. That's who has the main award, but they have a grant money.
Okay, so where's the money coming from that we're pulling down from?
Through the chair, that is coming down from the Cuyahoga County has a US EPA grant fund.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're drawing down from the US EPA grant dollars that have already been allocated,
Correct.
and that the city of Cleveland is not upfronting we're not coming up with any dollars ourselves.
For the $14.8 million, that is correct.
Okay,
Right.
is there any other dollars?
So the $8.9 million, which is $8.95 million for the investment tax credits,
Right,
that portion of that's between 30 and 50% of each of the projects. We pay the fees, so we have a design builder, we pay them through the city accounts, and both CPP and Port Control have funds for that portion. And then each of the entities, enterprise funds, would get reimbursed.
okay.
Refund through the tax credit.
Okay,
Just wanna make sure I'm
so how much is CPP coming up with, and then how much is Port Control coming up with?
So we have asked for $3.25 million for CPP project, which is a little bit smaller size, and we've worked with the airlines to approve $5.7 million to be available.
All right, and then, Mr. Chairman, to direct assistant, I don't know what your title is now. You're okay with the $5.7 million?
Through the chair to the councilperson, yes. We've done a thorough vetting process and even had multiple conversations with our airline partners and approved it. They approved the funds through our Terminal Modernization Development Program governance process.
Okay, and then, Mr. Chairman, to Director Kane, $3.2 million for CPP. That's a big chunk of dollars. I know what they have in unencumbered cash, so can CPP front the $3.2 million until the reimbursements comes through?
Chairman, to the councilman, yes. So the funds that we've assigned or placed in the project are from the sale of renewable energy credits, which are carried on our books for renewable power generation. So our current assets produce these commodities that were sold in 2024, as council's aware. So those are the dollars we're using to participate in this program, with the understanding that once the solar array is operational, we will recoup those dollars in very short order on top of the potentiality of the investment tax credit, and also to take advantage of these grant dollars, which is a unique opportunity that we see as beneficial to our customers in the long run.
All right, Mr. Chairman, to Director O'Keefe, do we have a time frame to reimburse Port Control and Cleveland Public Power?
Yes, through the chair, on a regular basis, we'll be reimbursed monthly. We do that for the $14.8 million. Once the projects are complete for the tax credit, that is about 6 months. We would file a tax return about 6 months to a year after the funds are spent.
Okay, that's the
Get that.
14.8, but I'm talking the 8.9, Right.
Through the chair, sorry, I'll clarify. The 14.8 is on a monthly basis. The 8.9 would be through a refund check about a year after we start spending them.
So, Mr. Chairman, to both the Director of the Port Control and Utilities, can your organizations handle floating that money for a year, knowing that the reimbursement's not going to be there for probably more than a year?
Through the chair to the councilperson, yes.
Okay. All right. That's all the questions I have. I do have an amendment, Mr. Chairman. At the end of Section 10, I'd recommend that we insert the appropriate director shall provide written notice to the clerk of council whenever any purchase is made through the cooperative process, which notice shall include the details of such cooperative purchases.
Okay, there's a motion, is there a second? Seconded. All right, could you, all in favor?
No, discussion.
Oh, is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the amendment carries. I think we're okay with that one.
Okay.
So,
Thank you, Mr.
all right,
Chairman.
are there other questions on ordinance 620-2026? All right, Councilman Davis?
Mr. Chairman, it's my delight to point out this is my third time approving this ordinance. I've been on all the committees so far. 300% support from my end. Just
Would you like to
congratulations.
add yourself as a sponsor?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Add Councilman Davis as a sponsor, please, clerk.
Thank you,
So,
clerk. With that, I'll
are
conclude.
any other questions on 620-2026? Hearing none, it stands approved. It will go to Committee of the Whole on Monday, presumably, for the fourth presentation. We got to spice it up a bit. So, all right, thank you, Director and Director. We can open it up for any miscellaneous for
you.
Port Control if there is any. Thank you.
Miscellaneous?
Yeah. It's great seeing you guys. Thanks for coming to Transportation Mobility. Any updates you'd like to share on Hopkins or Burke or Port Control at large? I know there's been some announcements about some new destinations, I think via United, but this is always kind of a good time to just check in with how things are going at Port Control.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, we, United did have a few announcements recently. Have had several announcements over the last few weeks. Nothing else really to report on the air service front other than, what we've already seen in the news. We're always looking to increase services. My particular, big point of, where I spend a lot of my time is in our Terminal Modernization Development Program. And, things are progressing well there. We, on the Gold Lot parking project that you all, approved a long time ago, we've hit 60% design on the Gold Lot, and we've also been moving forward on the parking garage design. I'd say we're probably at around 10 to 15% at the parking garage design right now. As you heard earlier on the demolition piece, we're knocking down additional buildings to make way for certain things in the program. So things are really progressing, and we'll be looking to likely do the next round of procurements and announcements later this year, towards the end of the year, in the fall, potentially. So things are moving, things are progressing well.
Okay. My staff will be reaching out to you, and then you can figure out if there's someone else. I still would like to coordinate some opportunities for committee members to tour Burke, including the airfield. I think one of the challenges will be I don't foresee us being able to have that and have a quorum, because if it were a public meeting, I don't know if we would have, there's not a functional way to get members of the public back through security and onto the airfield. But my thought is if staff can work to identify a couple dates with you all, people can sign up and we can provide the opportunity for people to come in smaller groups. I would like to accomplish that over the summer. I believe that Councilman Gray already took the initiative to go tour herself, but I know there's been a lot of interest from the committee and the broader council, so I will be having someone be reaching out to you. I'll make a quick introduction afterwards. Any other miscellaneous from the body? All right, hearing none. Hearing Councilman Casey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, to the director. There's talk with this deal with Brook Park, right? The 34 acres that is in the news as of late. Do you know what is that zoned?
Through the chair to the councilperson, I do not have that information off the top of my head.
Do you know what it was zoned prior to the deal we
I
made?
do not have
Okay.
any history on the zoning. I can certainly get that information for you. I do not have that with me here today.
Okay.
Are you,
All right.
which, are you referring to the IX Center, the Landon Brook Park, or there's the Emerald Parkway?
So not the Emerald, I mean, I know the Emerald Parkway. I'm talking the 34 acres that the deal is we'll give up that 34
Okay.
acres. That 34 acres. If we know what it was zoned, it had to have been zoned residential because there were houses on it. But was the zoning on that 34 acres changed?
Happy to get you some
Right.
information on all
Okay.
the history of the zoning.
Okay.
Happy to provide
All right.
that.
And I believe the overwhelming majority, if not all of it, is it's City of Cleveland owned land in the city of Brook Park.
Oh, right.
So I don't know if it's Brook Park has it as a residential designation, or they do have an airport zoning designation, which there's at the corner of Sheldon and 237, where there was a proposal for a gas station. I know that the people were reaching out to me that it was zoned airport, and I'm like, I don't know anything about Brook Park zoning. So
Right,
that's not
but
me.
if you could get that information for us so that we can be better prepared if that piece of legislation ever appears before us.
Happy to get that for you.
Thank you.
All right. Hearing no further questions, that concludes this meeting of Transportation and Mobility. Could you please excuse the absence of Councilman Bishop? Thank you.
Why are you so angry when you hit the gavel?